Wow, it's officially been 1 year in the van. This camping trip marks the start of, I would say, I don't know, year 2, season 2. Should we do season 2 of van life? Season 1 ended with a lot of wins and a lot of fails. We left off in the Osceola National Forest. I'm Mindy, and this is Joe. Together we travel America in our self-converted van we lovingly call the Pig. We are exploring everything America has to offer and are bringing you along every week. To join us on our journey, hit that like and subscribe button. We found a nice camp spot here in the Osceola National Forest, and we had plans to go diving today. However, it's raining and it's cold. Not sure exactly what we're gonna do today. I was thinking maybe we should find a cafe and do some updates. We have computer updates and camera updates and all kinds of updates. So maybe we'll find some Wi-Fi, get some coffee, maybe a little breakfast. This was a good spot though. I think you can stay here for up to 14 days. And normally we would stay for a little longer because it is nice and quiet and free. However, we do not have sun or cell service. Those are two things we kind of need during the week. You bummed about not diving today?
Oh yeah. But we did get to go diving earlier this week, so at least that's a plus. This is a section of Florida we want to dive.
Yeah, not looking good.
No, not good, but that's okay. We have other things to do, so I'm cleaning out the van real quick and we'll go to a cafe and maybe later a brewery so we can spend all day in Wi-Fi.
Sounds like a pretty good plan for a rainy day to me. Let's do it. Since we couldn't dive, we decided to do a food tour of Gainesville.
Well, that was a bit of a bust. We went to Kara, whatever it was. We went there, no sit-in dining with Wi-Fi or anything. It was all outdoors, so skip that. Moved on to the next place, and then the next place, and none of them had indoor seating at a coffee shop in a college town, which was a little surprising to us. So we ended up at Old Trusty. Wawa! And this month they have double rewards points. And we had a reward, so half of our food was free because my burrito was free. All in all, it was kind of a waste driving around this morning, but it still ended up in a bit of a win. And we're gonna end up at some breweries.
We ended up hanging out at Black Ladder Brewery pretty much all day. We got a ton of work done though, and now we're on to the next campsite.
We got our first blog post written on how we built the van.
Check out this beautiful camp spot. Just kidding. We're at a rest stop, guys. So last night we drove 12 miles for like 40 minutes down this crazy potholey bumpy road to get to this camp spot. And when we finally got there, it was packed. I don't know, there had to be at least 50 people there, and we couldn't even find a spot. Every spot at the campground was taken. It was a free campground, and you know, sometimes arriving late on a Saturday night, that's what you get.
We're just outside Tallahassee. It was about 35 degrees right now, which is kind of chilly considering we're in March in Florida. And we have to get another windshield. We got a windshield replaced, and then literally 7 days later, we broke it.
Well, we didn't break it.
That's true. We didn't break it. We were driving and it sounded like a ball bearing that hit it. Like it's a perfectly round hit that spidered and resulted in that going all the way across the windshield. And that was a week after we got a brand new windshield. Luckily though, in Florida, we, as we probably told you before, if you have full coverage insurance, like Florida just like, yep, no problem. And it's a zero deductible. So we set up an appointment with, I think, Safe Light Auto Glass today. So I'm gonna go get that done and then we can leave Florida.
Before we roll out of here, I just wanted to show you this spot really quick. This is not BLM land. This is National Forest land. So it is free. You can camp here for 14 days. It's just part of the National Forests. We had a nice spot. It was super quiet out here. The road to get in was very bumpy. Regardless, the spot was really nice. Then, while cruising down the highway, out of nowhere, the van just went into limp mode. Well, this is fun. So now we're just limping along.
Yeah. 17 miles an hour on the interstate. Luckily, we're on I-10 and the interstate's really wide. But since it's in limp mode, we're just creeping along with hazards so we can get off the interstate before we get towed, because that's way safer in Florida. The problem that I had just fixed in Illinois with the mass airflow sensor, that's still the code after replacing the part and doing all the things that you should do to fix it. Haven't had a problem in like 5,000 miles, and all of a sudden it just limp mode.
Yeah, so here we go.
Yep.
So we limped our way off the highway and to a dealership where we stayed for a whole week. Just living the dealership life, you know?
Yeah.
They had to fix the mass airflow sensor, which is something we fixed when we were in Illinois, but I guess we got a defective part or not sure what happened, but it had to get fixed again. They were kind enough to let us stay in the dealership parking lot while the van was being worked on. We were scared we weren't gonna make it to the show, but it ended up working out and the van got fixed and we made it just in time. We're currently on our way to the 6th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival put on by the United Tiny House Association. But first, we have some things to do. First stop check, got Trader Joe's and full fridge. Since our poor van's been sitting in the shop for a week, we decided we'd give her a clean. We're also trying to figure out if we'll fit inside the bay. It looks like some people didn't fit. So good news, it fits. The dealership we were at had a ton of pollen, so the whole thing is kind of coated in a thin layer of yellow pollen. So figured we'd just give her a quick cleaning, make everything look nice and shiny. The Tiny House Show was our first event we had been to. We didn't realize how busy we would be talking to people and interacting that we hardly took any footage. If you don't already follow us on Instagram, we keep more up to date in our stories at Mindy and Joe.
I'd be a fool if I didn't tell you about this beautiful place. Well, baby, it's true. Come on, in 34 years, I've seen a US of A. We got mountains you can climb them, Lord, from shore to shore.
But it was awesome. We met so many amazing people and had a great time. We can't wait to go to the next one. Hey.
Totally forgot. One rag.
A rag?
And a towel.
Oh, you forgot the towels?
Yeah.
Did you start it already?
No.
Oh, yes, Score, you remembered?
I remember.
I remember.
And I think they'll fit.
Good job.
It was like a really nice laundromat too.
Oh, that's always the best.
Yeah.
We're currently doing laundry right now, as you can tell. We spent the whole weekend at the Tiny House Festival, which was awesome. We had a great time. Then we were gonna go hide away in the woods in the most western part of South Carolina. And we drove all the way back in there, got to this beautiful camp spot. We were like, oh, this is perfect. And we had 0 cell service, which was a real bummer because we did need it for work this week. So we came back out into town and we've kind of been hopping between Cabela's and Cracker Barrel and a couple other places. We did score some free water at the Cabela's, so thank you, Cabela's, for always coming in clutch. We love that store. They also have an REI here. So Joe and I have been wearing the same ratty clothes for way too long. Like, we've had the same clothes forever. And we've been really wanting to upgrade our gear with clothing items that are built purposely for the things and activities that we like to do.
How you liking your new clothes?
Oh, these are great. We got them. We actually went on a full shopping spree in South Carolina where we pretty much geared up with all new clothes. So we decided to buy once, cry once, and kind of upgrade our wardrobe. Would you be interested in seeing our van capsule wardrobes? We do have very limited clothing in here. A lot of people are surprised when they see our closet space. It's pretty small. But we fit everything we need in here, especially when we buy purpose-built tech clothing. We do like to be outdoors a lot, do a lot of hiking and things like that. So these good quality items, although expensive, last you a long time. Some brands even have lifetime warranties on things, which is amazing as well. Anyway, enough about that. I guess if you guys want to see our haul, comment below. Maybe we'll make a video on our capsule wardrobes.
After spending a lot of time shopping in South Carolina, we ended up hitting up Asheville in North Carolina, and we did basically a walking brewery tour. So if you want to actually see all the footage from that, we did film quite a lot that we're not going to put in this video, so go ahead and leave a comment below if you want to see it, and we'll put it together.
Did it in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I caught one of those state line signs. I used to be really adamant about catching all of them, and I just kind of fell off the wagon. But we're here. We got one. It's rainy and yucky out. The ride's been really beautiful.
The tree pollen has been really bad, and I have found out that apparently in the deep south I am allergic to those. So I'm pretty grateful for the rain knocking that out of the air.
We finally left our shopping bender in South Carolina and have made our way to North Carolina, where we're currently in Asheville. We're walking around, gonna maybe find some cafes, some breweries, and just have a nice time today.
While that place looked really good and it was really interesting, we decided we'd cut it short, get some to go, so we can get on with our weekend adventure. We're gonna go into the Smoky Mountains, do a little Blue Ridge Parkway drive. For those of you wondering, it's been like 4 hours. We've had 2 beers, so we are being safe. It's been like an hour and a half since our last beer, so don't worry about it.
We hopped off the Blue Ridge Parkway to find a camp spot for the night. We're gonna check out this spot by the river. Fingers crossed, it's not too high of water.
Well, guys, looks like the weather's rolling in. Sometimes the weather really kicks you out of the spot. Look, the river isn't too bad. Just kidding, that's the other side of the road. We were gonna camp over here, but that river is really high. That's definitely a few feet above what it normally is. The spot we just rolled over has water on both sides of the road, and it's not quite over yet, so that's it for this spot. Probably go find a casino or something, and then we're gonna head up to Pigeon Forge. Blue Ridge has been beautiful. Driving through, going into the Smoky Mountain National Forest is really cool. Definitely would like to explore here more, but this is kind of part of the trip. We're just passing through.
I feel like it's been a while since we've been in the predicament of spot after spot not working out. The first spot we went to was virtually flooded because the river is extraordinarily high right now. We've been getting like a monsoon. Then iOverlander said that the casino allowed overnight parking, which we called, and they do not. Hey, Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Woo! Oh, that was a fun surprise. So now we're in Great Smoky Mountain National Park. We're driving through. We wanted to do this drive in the daytime. We're driving through to Pigeon Forge, where there is a trusty Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled. I'm kind of sick of staying at Cracker Barrels, but we'll have fun tomorrow. I was trying to remember the last time that this happened to us, and I think it was New Jersey. We drove around New Jersey, like the whole state, all night looking for a spot. Every spot we pulled into said no overnight parking, no camping. And that's kind of what this is reminding me of. Just not working out.
Back to Old Trusty.
Back to Old Trusty. We made it to the Cracker Barrel. We freshened up, brushed our teeth, and now I think we're off to bed. Weather pending, we might go for a hike tomorrow. Good night. We had a lovely stay at the Cracker Barrel. I swear we're not staying at the Cracker Barrel tonight. We were gonna go hiking, but it says scattered thunderstorms all day today. It's not raining now, and actually the sun just poked out, which is ironic. I was just saying the weather doesn't look that bad. It seems like every time we have plans to be somewhere, and then we have like a week of fun plans, the weather just kind of forces us in the direction that we're supposed to be going. Yeah, it might have held out for a little while. We probably could have got a little hike in, but we weren't sure at what rate it was coming in. It was predicted to start storming early, and it kind of slowed down, but it's moving in now. So I'm glad we're not out on a trail somewhere hiking. So instead of going for a hike, we ended up heading to Nashville to meet my friend Heath for lunch. We had an awesome lunch and great conversation.
We're in Louisville right now, and the last time we drove through on the van, a couple months later, I got a ticket in the mail for like almost $8 because I went on that bridge right over there without whatever pass it is that they use. Think like Easy Pass or Sun Pass. But now we're on this bridge, which is pretty much parallel to that bridge. But that one costs $8 to go across, and this one is free.
Joe hates this bridge. Well, actually, I guess you hate this bridge.
Yeah, I hate that bridge. This bridge is great because it's free. Hey, welcome to Indiana.
After leaving Nashville, we headed to Indianapolis to see my sister. We had a really great time. Didn't film anything except Buckley at the dog park. Enjoy. Randy's off. Wow.
Then after Indiana, we had to go up to Illinois to go to Easter. And every year, Mindy's mom has us do an Easter egg hunt, but she fills the Easter eggs full of money. And every year, I beat Mindy's ass at winning money and Tiffany's. Isn't that right?
He always gets the big egg.
Always. This year, I walked out with like $180 of Easter eggs, and Mindy got 12. Yeah! Then, after thoroughly handing Mindy her ass at an Easter egg hunt, I went down to help my friend Jesse and Ashley, the Howling Wanderers, on Instagram, if you're curious, help them start their bus build, which they had never done a build before. So they were really happy to have us there, and I'd never done a bus, so it was a really good learning experience. Come to find out, there's an insane amount of wiring, but we got it taken care of, and they are happily progressing along nicely to meet us out on the road someday.
I'm officially back in the van. But first things first, coffee. Got my coffee. Got Kipper's over here just staring at me. It's like, what are you doing? Gave the dog some proper love. Let's go see what they're up to on the bus. I haven't been here all week, so it's always crazy to see how far these guys got. What are you working on now?
Just doing some wiring for their external lights. So like us, they wanted to get some big LED lights on the bus. So we put a light bar up here. We're putting a couple in back, and I'm wiring them in to the original switches here. That's what we're doing, electrical stuff.
So when I left here, it was just, only the floor was done pretty much. It was completely empty, but now they've got the walls insulated. They got all the windows swapped out. We've been out here helping the Howling Wanderers with their bus for the last few weeks now. Well, actually, Joe's been out here helping them. I was up north wrapping up some business, but we're both here now. You might be asking yourself, who are the Howling Wanderers? Let me answer some questions. So the Howling Wanderers consist of Jesse, Ashley, and their 4 dogs. Jesse's been one of Joe's best friends since they were like 4 years old. Both Jesse and Ashley have made an appearance in our vlog before. If you remember, that's the wedding we went to back in Las Vegas. Now let me introduce you to their 4 dogs. Oh, let me see that cheese face. Just always want attention. Oh, right. Hello, Bella. That's the crew. So they're building out a bus and we'll be traveling with those 4 dogs. After working on the bus for 2 weeks, we headed back to Indianapolis for my sister's bachelorette party. We had a really nice time and did aerial silks. I had never tried aerial silks. They look so like graceful and flowy. They hurt. Like all the people who look so peaceful doing it are liars because it hurts.
Treacherous hiking while vlogging, very smart. If you were following us on Instagram, then you'll know that our motorcycle rack, the tongue literally broke in half on the interstate on the way to our next destination. Well, this was unexpected. That rack's been on there for 35,000 miles and that thing just decided to snap. All right, ready to get that off there now.
You may notice something is missing. The rack that holds our motorcycles on the back. I don't even know where to begin. We're cruising down the highway. We hear a very loud noise and I look into the mirror and there are just sparks flying everywhere. Like a... He's laughing at me right now. It sounds unlucky, right? Our rack broke and we're totally screwed. But it is so lucky. I'm so grateful that nobody got hurt, nobody died. And that is the most important thing. And the bikes lived. They held on and survived. Let me show you what we're working with.
Welcome to my crib. Would you like to see what I have in here?
Oh, let me show you. 200 grams. Quite literally just rammed into this space.
Luckily, we'll be at the next spot for 6 months, so we have plenty of time to come up with a better solution. I was always a little sketchy about that rack because our interstates are kind of crappy. As you guys might remember, I broke a hitch bolt in Texas, then replaced that in Florida, and it had gotten about a 1/2 degree bend in the tongue. I was like, okay, that's a little sketch. I'll fix that when we get to our stationary spot for a while. Maybe we'll make it. Well, one good hit and it was done. It completely ripped the metal. So the toe of the weld was here. That's where it was welded in, and it ripped all that weld right out of there. And it had cracked probably a good week or two prior, because that's some pretty light surface rusting. So it wasn't broke for a long time, but that's just what happens. That's just how much force goes into this when leverage gets applied. I'm gonna keep this as a reminder to not do that again.
And then the nicest person ever, Matt, was driving the opposite way down the highway, going from New York to Wyoming for a hunting trip. And so he was just getting going, just getting on the road, and saw us. He told us, I looked over and I saw you guys, and I was like, well, that's not supposed to look like that. So he got off at the next exit, whipped around, and came back and helped us. And he was so much help, and that was so kind. And we thank Matt so much, and we wish him a wonderful hunting trip on his Western adventures. Now we're gonna go get some coffee, get some breakfast. Oh, this is why we work so hard to put the bikes inside. As you can see, it's raining.
And it's 52.
So I quit my job, we headed to Maine for seasonal work, and that's where we are now. Welcome to season 2.
Peachtree to Ponce, it's a mighty big city. Atlanta's sure fancy and Georgia's sure pretty. There ain't another place, hello, I'd rather call my home. From Buckhead to Bankhead, from Roswell to Rome, from Cartersville to Canton, y'all, and back to the Dome. You know it's hard to believe, now it's down the road. It's changing a lot. It's the people, the places, the spaces between. Little alive and little five, they know how to dream. They say it's fake it till you make it, folks. Some of you know what I mean, right? Some of you. Well, I'd be a fool now if I didn't tell you about this beautiful place. Come on, well, baby, it's true. At 34 years, I've seen the U.S. of A. We got mountains, you can climb them, Lord, from shore to shore. And the motions in the oceans make emotions much more. But it's sure hard to fight the feeling when you make it back home, right? All the way back to Marietta, baby boy, it's break it or bust. I ain't traveled around the world yet, but this you can trust. You ain't been where I'm from. Well, now bless your heart, son. That's what they say around here. It's a mighty big city. Atlanta's sure fancy and Georgia's sure pretty. There ain't another place I'd rather call